Frost Flyers. I have our Scarecrow from last week. I have my watercolor palette. I have a little cup of water, my paintbrush, and I have my markers. Now, you should have some kind of washable marker. If it says washable on the side, or if it's a Crayola marker or a Rose Art marker, those are definitely washable. This will not work unless it is a water-based marker. So if you use some kind of permanent marker, this is not going to work, okay? So just grab some regular old washable markers and we're gonna get started on our project. I'm gonna grab a few of the colors that I would normally use for a scarecrow so that I can get started. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do, you're gonna take your marker. I'm using brown because I'm gonna do his shirt first. I'm going to use the side of the marker. You can see if I draw with the tip, it makes a really thin line, but if I draw with the side, if I kind of lay it over on the side like this and draw, it makes a really wide stroke. Okay, so there's my first stroke. I'm gonna go around, I'm going to outline the shirt, and it does not have to be perfect, of course. So I'm gonna outline around the patch because we're gonna color the patch different color later. There we go. I have just a little bit more over here to do. And you see, I'm not filling in, I'm just outlining. Okay, now my pants, I think I'm gonna do blue. So I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm just using the side of my marker. I'm outlining all of the edges of the pants. So there's still some white space. And then, you know what? I think I'm gonna do his hat too, because his hat's probably brown. So I'm gonna go ahead and outline that. There we go. Okay, now we're gonna make some magic happen. Now, when you are working with watercolor paint, you're going to use a lot of water. That's the trick to watercolor. It's mostly water and just a tiny bit of paint. So we're going to get our brush wet, but we don't want it drippy wet. So you're gonna take the side, on the side of the cup, and you go wipe, wipe, and that gets a lot of the water off, okay? Then we're gonna take our wet brush and we're going to activate this marker, which means we're gonna turn this water into paint, we're gonna turn this marker into paint. So all I'm doing, I'm just gonna put my wet brush on that marker. Look at that, it turns it right into paint. You can see that I'm kind of making little circle motions. I'm only using the tip of my brush. And then I'm just kind of swirling it around a little bit. Small motions. I never press my brush down too hard or scrub the paper. We're really gentle when we paint. And if I want more paint, all I have to do is just activate more of that marker, which means I'm going to touch the marker with the end of my brush. Now, I'm going to keep doing that with the rest of the parts that I colored. So I'm going to do the hat. Okay, now we have our marker art. If you want to continue doing your marker art, you can, or if you have a watercolor palette, you can switch over to your watercolor palette. Now, when you're using your watercolors, you're going to want to get your cup, wet your brush, remember, wipe. Then we're going to come over here. I think I'm going to work with the orange. Now, we do not want to scrub this paint or dig into the paint, okay? You just want to gently go 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, I don't know if you can see this in the video, but my brush now has paint on it. I'm going to gently get some paint. Then I'm going to go right up here. I'm going to paint. You see, it's very wet, and I'm using the tip of my brush very slowly. Now, I kind of want this to be orange, but I also want it to be yellow. I kind of want to blend the colors. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to clean my brush very, very well, get all the orange out. Swirl, swirl, swirl. Wipe. Then I'm going to come over here to my yellow, and I'm going to, remember, you're going to count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You just gently stroke the paint, kind of like you're petting a kitty cat. Then I'm going to come over here. I'm going to paint this side. Oh, look what's happening. I'm painting this side yellow, and it's blending with the orange. It's making a really nice sun. Look at that. Okay, now you have some choices to make here. You can keep doing your marker art. You can work on painting the rest of your project. You can use markers without the water. So on some parts, I might just, this part right here, I'm thinking I might just color the leaves in with marker. That would probably be nice. And then I think I'm gonna color this in, but I'm gonna color the grass in a little bit, but I'm gonna use my wet paintbrush technique for that. But you color yours in however you want to color in. I just want you to practice. Practice with your paintbrush. I hope you have a great week, and I hope you have fun coloring in your Scarecrow. Don't forget to submit your work in Canvas.